Well, Neil, it's been a really satisfying couple of weeks to get the 8 points, and crucially from 4 games, teams around you in the table. That's it's good work.
Yes, yeah, obviously delighted with the work we've done the last couple of weeks. Delighted with how it's gone. My first couple of months in charge, I've got to be honest. 15 points from 9 games is a very healthy return. And certainly 8 points in the last 4 games. Yes, I know we can look at it and say we played teams in the bottom half of the division. But you still have to win those games. You still have to pick those points up. And again, I've been really pleased with the output of the players. Been really pleased with the application and attitude of the players, the desire to want to learn and compete, and the fact we've been, and I hope it continues, a lot tougher to play against. And resilience is there for us. And certainly Saturday, with that ruthlessness that I've talked about, maybe missing against Burton, we certainly had it.
Yeah, and a good example at the weekend of how a point the weekend beforehand suddenly becomes a really good point when you use it as a springboard to get the win.
It does, and that's why I can't get too attached to just a one-game performance. I have to look at the bigger picture, and that's why I was so delighted Exeter with the clean sheet and the mentality. And again, I sort of referenced it again Saturday straight away at the final whistle to the players and to you guys. That the Exeter point was a platform for us to go right away from home. We're going to be really difficult to play against, really difficult to score against. The point against Burton was frustrating, I think was the word that we'd all use. We played really well for a period, and then we just didn't have the ability to break down a low block against 10 men, which happens, and a lot of teams struggle with it. Blackpool struggled against us. So that's what was missing, but I knew it was still a really valuable point. But when you win away from home, it makes every point valuable that's gone before it. So, we're now all of a sudden off the back of a good 0-0 at Exeter and a good performance for certain spells against Burton for 0-0. Also on 8 points in 4 games. That looks like a really healthy return.
And the picture with team selection clearly is changing dramatically from that period where you didn't have a senior striker to actually name in the side to now having Macaulay Bonne on the bench at the weekend. And okay, he was only just in through the door, but it's, as a manager, that must be a world away from where you were previously.
Well, it is when you look at performances and results, ability to change in game. No coincidence that Orient, we couldn't get back into the game when probably felt like I had limited impact off the bench. And again, please guys, no disrespect to the players that were on the bench on the day, but maybe just didn't feel had the experience or the ability in the moment to break down the opponent, how they were playing. Then you look at Orient, one example, Oxford, another example, where we were outstanding, miles better than Oxford for 60 minutes and then just couldn't carry it through. But then every other game we've been involved, or we've won late, or we've come from behind. It's no coincidence we've had strength off the bench. And that shows how important it is to have a squad of players that are competitive, and you feel like you can take a like for like into the scenario. And the other day, to be able to put on the players of the ability of Macaulay Bonne, George Thomas, James Brophy, Zeno Rossi, but then still have Adam May and James Gibbons as outfield players sitting behind me was a very nice position to be in, and that's going to get even better as time goes by, hopefully, with injured lads coming back. So we're a much healthier football club, and yes, we did fall short of a player we felt in the transfer window, but we look at it as a massive positive that George Thomas being fit and the 3 players in the building were so much stronger than we were.
Yeah, it sounded from deadline day as though you did everything possible to try and get that 4th player in, and we're quite close on a couple of occasions to different targets.
Yeah, very, very close at times, but that's January, and that's why I'm not bemoaning anything or not critical of any football club that changed their mind at the last minute. I understand it. Of course, I don't always like it, but I've been in that situation, so it's absolutely fine. We're really pleased with the additions we've made. We feel, well, we've seen Lyle's value already. We've seen just the fact we could take Lyle off 85 minutes every day and put the Macaulay Bonne stature on the pitch, and his not just his pedigree, his ability as well, and his attitude to play. And James Gibbons, who's as good at right back as he is left back, and left back as he is right back. So to have those players in the building with their experience is invaluable for us. So really delighted with the business we've done.
With Fajiri Okunibira and Ghassan Ahmed, clearly Fajiri's a bit further down the road than Ghassan will be, but are you happy with where they're both at this moment in time? Are they both on target relative to where they started off?
Yeah, so timescales are still fine. Again, I'm not going to hold the medical department to an exact date because it's very, very difficult when you're talking about mid to long-term injuries. But Fajiri is on the grass running, which is lovely for him. It's nice for us to see him out there. He's got an infectious character and he's a very good player, as we know. So great to see him outside. Obviously, he's not near the training group at the moment, and it's going to be at least 4 weeks before he is. Then he's got a build-up period of minutes to make. So, we're still looking. Fajiri's date sort of timetable hasn't changed. We're still looking at sort of middle to end of March. And then with Ghassan's got a scan this week, a rescan on his foot to sort of determine where he's at, and his dates will be adjusted accordingly. And that is as simple as Ghassan will then still be able to start, like Fajiri, getting involved, or he's going to be ruled out for a period of time. So I should certainly, whether I've got the answers for you Saturday, I certainly won't have them Thursday, whether I've got the answers for you Saturday, if not certainly next week, I'll be able to give you a lot clearer picture where Ghassan's at.
Yeah, so the summary would be that for Fajiri, he knows his roadmap and he's on it, but for Ghassan it's a little more complex.
Yeah, you probably summed it up better than I did. Yeah, thank you.
With the injury picture otherwise, got through the weekend without any knocks and niggles?
Yeah, looks like it. Which would be a lovely position to be in come tomorrow evening. But we look healthy, and what Saturday's done obviously is carried momentum and built confidence again, and it was such a good feeling afterwards. The atmosphere and the change. I got to be honest, the atmosphere has been. When you see the building when you're in, guys, it's fantastic. But it's just growing all the time, and seeing the players with smiles on faces, seeing injured players get closer to the training pitch it's really positive for us.
Yeah, I think smiles is definitely the right word, and it puts you in a great place actually ahead of Tuesday night and Bolton, which clearly you can look at what they've done this season. It will be a really good challenge.
It will be a good challenge, and what Ian Everett's done is built it over a period of time. Various transfer windows, they've got themselves at the mire as a football club, and they've had to put some hard yards into it, and well done to them for doing it, the owners and Ian. But they've been able to build into a club that's just spent a lot of money on a player from our division because they've earned the right to be able to do it over a period of time. Certainly understand that and respect that. But they're a really, really good side. So we know it's a big challenge in front of us, but we're in a great place. We've earned the right to enjoy the game and attack the game, and we don't fear the opponent one little bit. We're really looking forward to Tuesday night under the lights at the Abbey with the big dogs coming to town with the underdog, and we're just going to go out and play our game. Yeah,
it should be a really good occasion, and I know they've got a couple of injuries at the back, but you mentioned their January business, the options they've got in attack, and as we've been saying with you guys, having that flexibility and players that you can take in and out is massive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and we're excited because we've got sort of 2 out-and-out strikers, but Bolton have got 5. So, that's just where football clubs are at the moment. Look, we know the challenge, but we also know where we're at, and we're focused on Bolton. The players know what to expect, but they're excited for it. We've got 2 games in 4 days at home. We went force at home this year. We've had, since I've been here, I think 1 bad half of football at home. 1 bad 15 minutes in Leighton Orient second half. So we're going to attack the game, and we've got 2 opportunities to gain points this week. 2 very different opponents, and let's enjoy it.
Great, that's brilliant for me.
I don't expect you to give away any big secrets, Neil, but Bolton are a side that like to play 3 at the back normally. On a more general point, when you come up against a side that's playing 3 at the back, as a head coach, is there ever a temptation to match up, or is it very much look at yourselves? And on that point as well, do you feel like you have the players here to maybe go 3 at the back at some stage?
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see tomorrow night what we do, but certainly not afraid to change. Quite embrace a change sometimes. It's good to challenge the players. Bolton are a difficult side to play against in whatever system you play, because they're very good at finding solutions, and they've just got very, very good players for the level, and that's why I think they will get promoted this year. They're a very difficult side to press, so you have to make sure that you don't give a lot of space away, and difficult to get after the ball at times. So we have to make sure we've got the same resilience and mentality that we've had in the last 4 games, and that set us in good stead. But we are playing at home, and we do want to cause Bolton problems as well. But back to the original question: am I happy to change shape? I've got no qualms with changing for any given opponent, or changing and staying at a different shape for a period of time.
And just one on a particular player. Lyle got the headlines at the weekend, and rightly so. But just wondered what you made of Jack Lancaster. Since you come in, because his role in the first goal is not something we've often associated with Jack. Showing a bit of pace, he's sort of played in that 10 role a lot. So is that something you can see him doing going forward?
Yeah, whether he's playing the 10 role, whether he's playing off the right, off the left, whether he's playing as a pair up top in a 3-5-2. And dropping into pockets. I can see Jack playing all those roles. I think he's been pigeonholed in his career to just being a 10. I think it's wrong. I think he's much more talented than that. I thought he was excellent at the weekend. Jack's role since he's been here, he's had twofold. He's had from the start where I expect an impact, and he's been off the bench where he's made an unbelievable impact in coming on in games. Jack's still a very young man. He's played a lot of football for a young man, but he's still very young. And I've just said to him, whether you start 18 games for the season, whether you start 14 and come off the bench in 4, whatever it is, you've got to make sure when you're on pitch you're impacting that game. He did at the weekend. He did, and he did it in a different way. It wasn't just between the lines. He ran past people. He's got the ability. He's got a really good eye to see the game. When he plays on the front foot and he anticipates, then he's a really, really good player. And when he's reactive and sort of hesitant and waiting for the game to play at his pace, that's when I think Jack struggled. So working with Jack to make sure the mindset's right, that he knows his role from the start or from the bench. But I really, really like him. I think he's got so much potential to carry on developing, and I look forward to working with him over a period of time.
Perfect. One from me.
Stephen?
An interesting run of fixtures with the 3rd, 22nd and 1st over the next 7 days. Does that kind of sandwich positions, does it change the way you prepare in any way? Does it give you more flexibility in rotation?
No, I don't look at the opponent and think, I can rest somebody for that game or play somebody in that one. No. More so around formations that we're playing against, and whether I want to change shape, that have more bearing on it. But other than that, no, I don't value one opponent stronger than the other. I have to look at how we get through a game, minutes wise, who's played for what, who's been up with the kids all night, who's not been well themselves, etc. So all that comes into the equation on the team selection as usual. But other than that, no. Cheltenham and then Carlisle get exactly the same respect and mindset in preparation and planning as Bolton and Portsmouth.
Thanks.
Cool.
I know you're up to 14th in the table now and 7 points clear of the drop zone. Does that take the pressure off a little bit, that you've got that buffer now to the bottom 4?
Again, I wouldn't say it takes the our focus away from it. That's sort of where people are thinking. No, we still have to respect the fact that teams can win 2 games on the spin. We were 7 points clear a couple of weeks ago, and it went back to 4 and 5 again. But I look at the bigger picture and say that over a 9-game period, we've done really well to get the 15 points. The lads performed brilliantly and should take the credit for it. 8 points from 4 games, huge credit to the players for that also. So, we're moving in the right direction. We just need to repeat that feat somewhere, whether it's over the next 9 games or whether it's over the next 4 games. We have to repeat that feat, and then we're in a really healthy position. But what we have done, we've bought ourselves some space and an opportunity to smile, and not relax is the wrong phrase, but to smile and enjoy ourselves. And you do that by competing and being the best you can. And I think we saw that at the weekend. You saw the players play with a real determination, desire, but with a smile on their face as well. And that's how they've trained since I've been here. And that's what I want from the group. I want that winning mentality, but with a smile on face as well. And that's certainly what we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah. You missed out on a winger, obviously. You were obviously trying to add a winger to the squad. Would you consider the free agent market to do that, or is this your squad now until the end of the season?
No, never rule it out. But then you're down the thought process of like, why lads are free agents. If they've been sort of contract cancelled to leave them as a free agent and they've been training, that's different. But if you've got free agents that haven't been training or playing for a long time, then obviously that's a different scenario. That's very, very risky. I'm really pleased with the squad. Will we add? Look, we're not ruling it out, not at all. We were certainly not discussing anybody today or close to it. If I feel we didn't add a winger, if we feel like we're short of wide player options, then I would change shape. No problem. Tomorrow to a 3-5-2, I'm actually fine with that. So it might be something more of a like minimal change within the group rather than personnel now. But you never say never, because somebody might crop up that just becomes too good an opportunity to sign that's available. But what I will say, again, be very clear, delighted with the 3 players we signed in the window and absolutely delighted with the squad.
And now that January's out of the way, are you able to do any work on extending contracts of players that are already at the club, or do you have to kind of wait until...
Stephen, you should come and play. You're relentless. I love it. Relentless in the questions. Yeah, just got through a transfer window. Now, so we're going to do new contracts. No, I appreciate the question. I've not got that thought in my mind yet. Look, one step at a time for us. We've just done January window. Got a lot of games coming up. Certainly with the next couple of weeks where we're Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. We'll get through that period. Then it'd be a case of I've got to start sort of pre-planning as a football club with the thoughts of who's out of contract and what lads are thinking. But at the moment, I need my players just to concentrate on one game at a time, and I need to do the same, to be honest, during this period. So, I'm sure those conversations will start, I would imagine, nearer March or into the start of March.